Go hello.
Hey guys, what's going on? You know, there's a lot to look at in today's match, but one thing you can't pass up is the fact that there's so many surface level coincidences between these two teams. Both are referred to as Central. They both rep the maroon and gold, but tonight we are looking to put aside those similarities and see just how different they can be out on the court today. Central State has been struggling offensively lately, so we're going to see if Central Michigan is able to capitalize on that tonight.
Besides the basketball game. So fill us in, what else are we missing here?
Let me tell you, if you are anywhere in Mount Pleasant tonight, this is the place to be. Not only is it the classic MAC rivalry between Central and Western, but it's also the toilet paper toss. Just about 10 minutes ago, all 5,000 plus fans threw their toilet paper onto the court. It was a sight to see. There's so many other promotions going on, and Central looks to beat Western at home for the third consecutive year in a row. I'm so excited. The fans are so excited. Matt and Adam, how are you guys feeling going into the night? We've mentioned how important veteran leadership is to have on both of these teams, and one important veteran for Ohio is grad student Sharif Mitchell. He is finally back and contributing on the court after his injury, and during last week's press conference, he credited a lot of his team's success to the maturity of the team. He explained that their mentality of having a faceless, nameless opponent is super important, so it doesn't matter who they're up against. They just play Ohio basketball and do things the right way, and we've seen this with their recent comeback.
Yep.
Bradley senior Ruba Hasesh has been making her mark so far with 7 points so far in the first quarter. Not only is she one of the 3 captains on Bradley's team, but she's also one of 5 international students that they have. She's from Sweden, but there's also representation from Spain, Australia, Ontario, and Mali. These students bring new perspectives to the team and an overall international advantage. Let's talk the aggression we saw from Central Michigan in this first set. We saw straight power in the swings of Christina Casson, Natalia Raymond, and especially the freshman Grace Thomas. Coach Golick said their team simply has to be aggressive. They can't sit and wait for a perfect situation because volleyball is simply an imperfect sport. The aggression and risks clearly are paying off in the first set, allowing them to take the win. We've seen some pretty big personalities from both teams today, whether that be on the bench or on the court. We've heard the benches shouting defense, defense, but we've also seen lots of chatter between players on the court. We knew it going into today that Ohio has a reputation of being aggressive. However, CMU has been playing into it as well. We've seen some Yarosevicius celebrations, some comments being made between players, and both teams are just going to have to work on not letting the other team get into their head and simply play some basketball. I got the chance to check in with Coach Barbie on his way out of the locker room, and he said that he credits their lead to how well they were playing defensively in the first half. However, a win doesn't come with just defense. You need a balance between your defense and offense, and that's going to come to finishing at the rim and getting those points on the board. With that, he said his main focus for the second half is keeping the energy up. We can't see them die in the second half like we've seen in their last couple games, and we need to see them ultimately secure the bag here. We've talked about how successful Toledo's been lately, so I had to mention one game in specific. Last Wednesday, they went up against Kent State and came out with a win 70-59. This brought the program their 900th win, also making them the first MAC school to ever reach 900 wins. The closest school to them is Bowling Green with 895. Something that has set CMU apart from other schools in the MAC all season has been their communication. CMU setter Allie Korba explained that their chemistry is simply through the roof and that they all love each other so much. This has been allowing them to play free and confidently because they have so much trust in each other. This trust definitely played into what allowed CMU to take set 2 in that overtime there. We'll be right back with Jacob and Ben after the break. We touched a little bit on Cleary head coach Carl Thomas, but let's dive a little bit deeper. He is the first head men's basketball coach Cleary has ever had, but he's earned that title. He's had quite an impressive career, playing overseas professionally in France, Sweden, Greece, and Italy, and then back in the States, played in both the NBA and the CBA. In the NBA, he played 63 games over 4 different teams, and athleticism must run in the family because his twin brother also played in the NBA, making them one of 9 sets of twins to play in the NBA ever. Throughout the CMU season, Coach Kristen Haney has been preaching to her team to play throughout the entire game. Earlier this season, we saw their team start off pretty strong, however, start to fall and get tired towards the end of the game. In practice, they've been working on their stamina and keeping their defense consistent, and we have been seeing this now in the third quarter. It doesn't matter how they started off their game. They're playing to win, and they're not letting the score get away from them. Now it's only a 4-point game in McGurk Arena. Senior Jenna Bash has proven herself to be a key player for Kent State. In the last game, she made 19 points all to herself, but in her last 3 years on the team, she's had quite an impressive career. When talking to the coaching staff and Kent State staff pre-game, they explained that how well she plays just comes down to how comfortable she is and how quickly she can find her rhythm on the court. They told us we would know early if she was playing well, and she already has 3 assists and 4 points just in the first quarter, so it's looking to be a big game for Bash. With such an intense match planned for today, it was sure to bring in some super fans. I'm here with the CMU men's club volleyball team, and they are all decked out in maroon and gold. Tell me, what fuels your fandom? You guys are here at almost every match cheering them on. Coach Haney may not be here today, but her messages still ring true. After their game against Eastern, she explained that sure, the team is young, but it's time for them to grow up. They have a few conference games under their belt at this point, but they have to figure out how to stay consistent, especially when it comes to their free throws. They've had games shooting 80% from the line and also games averaging just 56%. Today, they're 4 for 5 for 3 throws, and the simple points add up. They truly matter, and that might make the difference in today's game today once it comes down to it at the end. This Toledo team is known for their defense. In their last 4 games, they haven't allowed their opponents to reach 60 points. Clearly, CMU is about to break that streak with 57 points on the board and over 6 minutes left in the game. We have seen a bunch of successful mid-range jumpers from CMU, which are always fun to watch. We have 3 Chippewas in double-digit scoring, and if they can keep up this offensive momentum, they might be able to come away with a win today. Kent State was picked to finish second in the MAC in the preseason poll, and we can see why. We have seen great efforts offensively, both from the paint and from the three-point zone. We have seen not very many misses from the team, which limits the chances for rebounds, which isn't great news for CMU. And they're also playing well defensively, holding CMU to just 37 points today. Kent State looks to win for the 3rd straight time in Mount Pleasant today, for the first time in 24 years.
Our crew, Kristina Fusco.
Yeah, thanks, guys. As you guys mentioned, it is an important weekend to determine MAC standings. Not only is it important for that reason, but it is also Pride Night here in McGurk Arena. This is the first Pride Night CMU volleyball has put on, and a quote from head coach Mike Golick himself is that it's great value in fostering an environment where people can authentically be themselves without judgment from others. That being said, let's have a good and inclusive match today, guys. A notable member of Bradley's coaching staff is Jahari Smith. Although she's only been there for 2 years, she was previously a member of CMU's basketball team. From 2018 to 2023, she held program records with a .581 career field goal percentage and starting 122 consecutive games. This has got to be an interesting game for her to watch because both Taylor Anderson and Lisa Tassone are her previous teammates. I'm sure it's hard to watch this game because, of course, you want your own team to win, but your alma mater always has a special place in your heart. Either way, I'm sure CMU is happy to have her back in the arena today.